This is an emergency broadcast on all YouTube bulletin stations. There is currently a massive emergency. Please panic and run around like your knickers are on fire. Remember to stay tuned to the Gooner channel for further updates. There is currently an emergency.
I think you can hear me now. What's up? Welcome to the Sunday Social at the Adams Arms, a hostelry for the hopeful, a place where football is still fun. And, well, yesterday's result against Villa was hugely disappointing. We had a really good result against Brentford midweek, and we were just one kick away from a draw, which I think would have been a fair result. I'm not saying they didn't deserve to win it. They did win it, so they did deserve to win it. But I think, judging by the reaction, Arsenal fans are starting to worry that it's happening again, that it's all starting to fall apart. Now, we know from 3 years of coming second, the emotional roller coaster involved in a title race, and it isn't even half over yet. But that's the mood, isn't it? The prevailing mood is that we've blown it, we've done it, and all the Man City fans happy, talking about being the shark team again. But are they right? I want to hear from you, and we're going to take a look at why it might be rational not to give up just yet. So the other thing we're going to talk about, obviously, I imagine, is whether Mo Salah or Arnie Slot are going to be at the last man standing in the Liverpool confrontation that's brewed. Liverpool, what can you say? They have imploded. They are miles behind. They're not going to win the title this season. And now Mo Salah, who only seems to talk to the press when he wants something, has come out and basically thrown the club under the bus. So what will they do? How does this end? This and so much more, hopefully with a touch of banter and some fantastic look. You come for the chat. So let's get on with it just after a short interlude.
One clash, one fall, time will explode. You could feel red blood run cold across the postcode. Got me down bad and the fear get viral. Fans screaming season done like a survival spiral. But breathe, my brother, fear don't leave. North London Warriors built from a stronger creed. Arteta armor defense like granite. We don't melt, this ain't that planet. No panic in the streets of North London. Even when that moment makes red blood run cold, we stand strong. Fear fades quick when the baseline rolls. Cannon on the chest, never lose control.
So great to see so many of you here tonight. What are you thinking? Do you think that the reaction is the reaction to yesterday's defeat one that most of the fan base kind of hold? Is it the beginning of the end? Are we about to see it unravel? No one wants to hear excuses. No one wants to talk about injuries. But we do have a little bit of an injury problem. I wouldn't call it a crisis. How long is Saliba going to be out for? I want to talk about yesterday's game as well. I want to get your opinions on, did we turn up with the right formation? Perhaps formation's a silly question. Did we turn up with the right starting 11? Did he make the right substitutions at the right time? Did we go for it enough? Was a handbrake on? Was a handbrake off? All of these things. Obviously, I have my opinions and we can share them. But generally speaking, I understand how, look, it's been 22 years since we won the title. And that means that there is a huge chunk of our fan base that's never actually lived through one, experienced one, or knows what's emotionally involved in it. That said, I think our fan base has lived through title challenges over the last 3 years. And without ever tasting the ecstasy of victory, without ever once actually having something to brag about or boast about. And the idea, I think, of that being the case this season is making us more nervous than the results should probably point to. After all, look, I don't want to be facetious, but we are top of the table. We're 2 points clear. The question I have for you, if you feel like we're slipping, why do you feel that way? What are the big reasons for you? Apart from, look, Arteta doesn't know how to get us across the line, because he doesn't. He hasn't. But beyond that, are you advocating Arteta out, or do we just see how the season goes? And if we're just going to see how the season goes, can't we just enjoy it? That would be what I would say. I'm going to say hello. The comments are building up. You know what I'm like with the comments start going. Hawkwind is here. It says, Geezer, of course, when Hawkwind arrives. Need I continue this sentence? And there's Zanzi Barbarian. Hawk, you're the fastest damn fast geezer with 4 E's on this channel. I'm from the 90s. 4 E's is a different thing. How you doing, Jordan? Great to see you, mate. And what's happened to your champions? Oh, he's straight in with a dig at a Liverpool fan. You have got to love it. There's a lot of Collison 42, a gentleman's preference. Hello, beautiful gooners. How the hell are you? So let me know how you feel. We've got Ulysses. No, I can't read this. Ulysses Rios B8F. Met. Well, Hail Traveller Hearty, well met. Our nearest rivals will have tough fixtures and drop points too. Not too worried. We're still in the lead by 2 points and in the driving seat, only 2 losses. True, isn't it? They want us to fear Manchester City, right? And I get that it was a really good... I think it was a good result for them beating Sunderland 3-0 at home. However, may we also point out that beating Sunderland at home 3-0 is not that amazing. And they have not looked like champions. Why have they lost 4 games this season? Why have Man City? So who is going to win the title? If it's not us, do you think Villa are going to win it? In terms of games coming up, we have a really challenging December. We know we do. Man City slightly less so. And so are we? Look, my projection, just to get it out there, is that Man City will be top of the table before January. Last game of December, 41 points. We'll be 3 points behind them in 38. I think we've got really tough fixtures coming up. But if it pans out, I don't see why we can't go on a really long run in the second half of the season, because we've got much easier games on paper. How's our medically informed? How is our not our honestly? Why name the Gooner channel? I think you came for something else. What you doing? We're basically just chatting. It's an online pub. Still don't know how 3 minutes extra time became 5 though. But it was a makeshift defense and Emery set them up well. It was a really good game of football for the neutral. That's what I would say. It was end-to-end stuff, a little bit too basketball. Of course, we don't want it to be like that. We are a team that thrives on control and possession and not allowing the opposition chances. I think we did that to some degree, but the chance at the end was a killer. And reviewing the game, I don't think you can get away from the fact that, well, we had too many players that underperformed, right? It came down to that, I thought, and not massively. Trossard, I would have. It's a difficult one, isn't it? So Eze didn't have a great game, but the question is, did Eze not have a great game because he was played out of position? He's played on the left side. He's been a left 10 for Crystal Palace. It's different. He would have had more freedom at Palace. There's a team still getting to know each other. A back four that's never played together. I thought Hincapié looked good. Calafiori less so. Mikel Merino didn't work up front. What are some of your thoughts? Charles is here. Fantastic. Great to see you. Always get great questions. Dan, leave the fixtures aside. How are you? Not the future. Look at the past first. Why does Arteta have no answer to Emery consecutive seasons? I mean, why don't we get it? Plus, L in that fashion. Yeah, it's hard. It's really tough. It's shit. I can pretend it isn't. Leave the fixtures aside. How are you? I'm good. I hope you're well too. Not the future. Look at the past. Well, the past is pretty shit because for 22 years we haven't won the league. But if you think that means we never will, Liverpool hadn't won the league in 30 years. I look at the teams now, the relevant positions now. Why are we top of the league? Why are we top of the league if we're not as good as City? We've both played 15 games. We've got 2 points more out of those. That's a stat. It's a meaningful stat to me. If you're saying that we've played well so far, but you can see it falling apart, on what evidence? And I'm not just directing this at you, Charles. I'm saying, on what evidence are you sure? We can all have our opinions. You can have the opinion that Man City will win every game from now on and that we won't. But my opinion is a little less set than that. I'm looking at numbers and stats and data, and I'm saying that in the equivalent fixtures of last season, you would have expected us to have roughly 4 points fewer than we have amassed. Man City have roughly 2 points more than you would have expected. Liverpool are 16 down. I think Liverpool are out of the title race. But at the beginning of the season, I did forecast Man City to win it. I forecast them to finish on 90 points. But the key thing here is we go to the Etihad. So even if it's, totally against us and beyond the realms of possibility, we might still, if it's a 3-point swing either way, have it in our own hands. To me, it's a mentality impacting loss. Yes, of course it is. And then it's also, as was Szoboszlai's goal for Liverpool against Arsenal, because basically, it took the wind out of ourselves. We went to Anfield, we didn't play well. We should have come away with a draw, but we lost because of an amazing free kick. Still, I think, goal of the season contender. How did it affect us then? Well, we haven't lost since then. So it's, if we lose once every 20 games, I can see us winning the league, no? Past, I meant not future fixtures, but last match, Dan. Well, last match, talking about last match was disappointing. I did want to talk about last match. Did we put the right team out? How badly is the centre-back pairing going to affect us? Did Declan Rice play too much of the game? Are we looking leggy and knackered because we are leggy and knackered? I don't know. Miss Melina, Queen of Arsenal, deserving of a fanfare. And if you would hold a moment, I will find said and play. There you go. Emergency blended in YouTube. And so what really gets me is all the pundits, Oppo fans talking about who can stop Arsenal, not where their team will end up, but who can stop us, and as if they'd rather stop us than City win it. In the end, it doesn't matter what opponents or pundits think. But that is a great question, isn't it? If Arsenal are definitely not going to win the league now because we've fallen apart, somehow clinging to top spot but fallen apart, who is it that's going to win it? Is it Man City? Man City have some tough fixtures coming up in January. So Man City's tough fixtures are in January. And this is not a team that looks unbeatable. Can we just please all remember that Man City have lost some games. Now, they lost away to Villa. Snap. They lost at home to Spurs. What? Who loses at home to Spurs? Basically, in the same fixtures that they've lost, we've managed 6 points and we still have a game in hand. We still have to play Brighton. That game's coming up. So here we go. Clearly with Emery, it's a coaching issue because we have players over there on the field, but somehow Emery seems to find some gaping hole to exploit. Also worth saying, look, Aston Villa are third in the table, because they're the informed team in the Premier League. That's despite an absolutely horrible start. I said it before the kickoff. They've conceded 5 goals at home all season, and 3 of them were in the game against Palace. So we are looking at a team that's really difficult. We scored against them, and it looked really like we were going to get the draw. We had chances. We both had chances. One of theirs went in. One of ours didn't. Really disappointing. I'm sure there are lots of things we can pick out from that game. But Unai Emery is a fantastic coach. Unai Emery is a world-class coach. Unai Emery hasn't won the Premier League either, by the way. I'm just saying. And I'd rather be in our position than Villa's right now. Chris Nix. I might, Jim reminded me, might take a look at the fantasy Premier League later. People act like Man City form has been incredible. Look at Man City's last 5 games. I know, right? I do think there's something in the mythology around Manchester City, which is based on, is this Manchester City like the team that won 4 Premier Leagues in a row, or the team that's dominated English football in the last decade? And the reality is, does it look like that to you? They've already lost 4 games this season. To me, they look closer to the team they were last season, that they will bump into a run of games. They've still got to go to some of the most difficult fixtures. Anfield away. Ribbit, says Kermit's middle finger. A bloody good ribbit to you too. We're really missing Big Gabby. I think anyone would. I don't know how you could not. He is our wall at the back. Missing him and Saliba, and then bringing Mosquera and being really confident that he can cover for Saliba, and then watching him go out. We have injuries, don't we? I don't want to whinge about them. I don't want to talk about them because really one of the things that drove me mad in the run up to the Villa game was people talking about our injuries. No other fan base talks about injuries as much as us, it feels like. It honestly does. I'm not trying to dig at Arsenal fans, but I'm saying no one's going to care. No one wants to hear it, and no one's going to care if we've got more injuries than anyone else. Why did we sack Dick Emery? Oh, now I remember. Yeah, that's right. And all of the people that say, oh, we shouldn't have sacked Unai Emery. Where were you when he was sacked? Because you weren't turning up to games. There were no protests. There was no petition. I've got to hear me out. Hear me out. I've got to hear me out. Right? It's this. I didn't sign a petition. I wasn't up in arms. I wasn't one of the angry, frothing at the mouth gooners. But I wasn't mad about the signing of Noni Madueke. I was open to giving him a chance. Is anyone else getting a bit fed up with him? Is it just me? Am I the only person getting fed up of Noni Madueke? I know it was a beautiful assist to the pass to the assist against Brentford. I know he's got tricks in him, things, but not a lot of end product. I do have a problem with people on the wing, forwards that just kind of look dazzling but don't improve your scoreline. Full respect here, where Arsenal are versus Villa are not what it is all about. Having Eze on the left and press monsters, Odegaard and Gyökeres, still they seem to play around us. To me, it looks like... then it's down here. Ode and Eze will not work out or make us poor. It's a really good question. How do you play Odegaard and Eze? I think Eze had an average game out of position, but below average game out of position. Before the game, I wanted to play him and not Odegaard, just because Odegaard offers you much less going forward. Odegaard is more someone who can control a game, but we didn't control that game. So changes could have easily been made. Merino was utterly ineffective. I was surprised as they got hauled off. But Trossard, you get the excitement of Trossard being fit enough to play, followed almost immediately by the disappointment of seeing him taken off. Is he a long-term injury doubt? I don't think so. But, we've got this game against Club Brugge midweek, and I think we just do everything we can. Put out Wanyeri, Miles, anyone that hasn't had minutes, Norgard, the lot. I don't care. The dark times, the Emery times. Dick Emery. It's a good one. I've read that. If you're in your 60s, you know who Dick Emery was. I am not, but I do. Eze works well at 10 with Merino at 9 because he gives that forward momentum. Passes the ball forward. It's one of the things I like about Eze. But this has happened to all football teams at all times, even the successful ones. Sometimes your players don't turn up like you want them to, right? That definitely happened to us. There's no getting away from that. And it's just how we react to it, I think, that makes the biggest difference at this point, isn't it? Like, I'm not prepared. I don't know why some of you... Well, let's just go through it. Some of you are confident that we've blown it. Some of you are confident that Mikel Arteta isn't the man to lead us forward. I will say this. I think we've had the conversation too many times to go over it again. I don't think that you could stay on as Arsenal manager at the end of this season if there's nothing to show for it again. Because there is a point where you cannot say that coming second 4 times in a row is growth. You can't say that's progress. And nobody's... And when he came in, if he'd said it'll be 10 years before I deliver anything, they wouldn't have given him the job. So at a certain point, I don't know what the Cronkies are likeliest to do if it comes time to let Arteta go. Would they let it drag out and then we'd have the sort of Wenger out era, banners, planes flying overhead, all of that shit? Or would they just act decisively? I think I know what I'd prefer. If you're interested in sharing your opinions, your views, and some banter, then please do feel free to join me up here. How about Eze in the centre, Martinelli a striker? I heard that we might be trying that. I don't hate it. I'll try anything. I don't want to see Merino up front many games. Merino is... He's too deep. I don't know why we keep calling him striker anyway. Where he plays, he wasn't exactly the furthest up the field in our formation. But then, look, we can also mention the fact that he did bring Gyökeres on at halftime for Merino, and Gyökeres wasn't impressive. I'm really seeing a lot of people saying, "Oh, everyone said Gyökeres would come in and score a hatful of goals." No, he didn't. Not everyone thought that he would. I don't think Benjamin Šeško is doing much better at Man United, but there's still a lot of people who will remind everyone when time comes that they actually wanted Šeško and not Gyökeres. So if Bruges beat us with substandard 11, will it have an impact on those players that did not play at all? Back-to-back L's, resting everyone down. To be honest, ain't that simple, Dan. Repercussions. No, it's not simple. It's why people get paid millions of pounds for it. I'm saying that the game at home against Wolves, we should probably win comfortably. I have no idea who's going to play against Club Bruges, but I do think there is a case to be made for resting Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, because injuries are a factor this season. And if you can keep them fresh, you don't want to. Do you need them playing 60 games each season? Is that the thing? Is that what you want? Because that's what happened. And Rude One Star, box fresh. How are you, mate? Good to see you. What if we had Champions League final and lost the league by 1 point? Yeah, exactly. No one knows, do they? But I still think he'd go. Honestly, I still think he'd go. Champions League final, maybe that keeps you in a job. But this fan base it's like it's fermenting. You know, there are bubbles of positivity, but by and large, it's just a miserable experience. You'd never think it'd be like this, being top of the table. It is unpleasant. There's no fun being had. Can we just give in to a little bit of hope and optimism? I was wondering where your other chat was coming from. It's those 3 portrait peeps on their phones. That's right. Also, take on Piero Hincapié clearance and mean if people think he caused the last goal when the ball was being ping-ponged by multiple players. Not right. No, I don't think he's here to. I'm not here. I haven't heard anyone say that. Marino doesn't have that striker instinct to get in the right positions, good in the air, etc. I think, yeah, it'd be mad if he did, wouldn't it? Like, he spent his entire life not being a striker, and here you go. But he has played really well for us, and it's tough knowing where to play him. But it goes back to what Charles was saying. Who do you? Cole was saying, sorry. Who do you play? Do you play? Let me ask. Who could I ask? Zanzi, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Who should we play? Eze or Odegaard? And before you say anything, I know how to pronounce Odegaard. I have a helpful video.
I'd help you to pronounce it. It's pronounced Odegaard.
How are you, Zanzi?
Fine. So it's Odegaard or
Odegaard.
Easy. Is it Izzy? Eze.
Eze. Oh man, like I think it's one of those problems I'm glad I don't have to worry about, really. But I would have definitely played Eze against Villa, just because when I looked at it, it looked clear to me that we were going to need about 7 chances on goal to score twice. And I thought we would need to score twice. In the end, we just didn't convert chances we had. And so...
What annoyed me about that game is the fact that you actually said it, in the fact that Marina was too deep and we didn't have anyone to knock the ball to.
Yeah.
So when he had the ball in midfield, I'm thinking, go for it. Oh, there's no point. There's no fucking player up there.
Yeah, and here's the reality, though. Even when, so we had Saka was doing most of the heavy lifting high up the pitch. That left side, I don't know, Martin, the other, Eberechi or Martinelli, no one seems to want to play on the left-hand side of the pitch in the first half. But Marino is basically playing where you'd expect Odegaard. Well, he's basically standing next to Odegaard most of the time. It's a bit difficult to see that working over and over again. But I don't want to take anything away from Marino. He's been really brilliant for us. Good to see you, Dan and Zanzi in chat. Great to see you. Fermenting or congealing, decomposing, lol. Yeah.
But I'm not being silly. Against a team who are going to sit back, I can see Marino's advantage because we're pressing them back, we're pushing back, and Marino's going to be hovering around the penalty box.
Yeah.
But against a team who's going to come and attack us like Villa will, they're going to leave us room at the back. And that is where you need somewhere like Gyökeres.
Yeah, but Gyökeres played as much of that game as Marino did.
Yeah, I know, but we weren't getting the ball to him. There are times after seeing him make a run.
It's a different subject. Like, I'm just saying, like, the idea that Marino is not the right player is true, but also, you know, it does come down to how you're playing on the day and who's got possession. You know, it was always going to be interesting who had the most possession in that game because both teams like to have possession. Anyway, I will finish off reading this. Right, tonight's dress code is Lonsdale representative. I'm here for the listen. If anyone wants, give me a contract. You know what I mean? Gym gear. It's Anthony Herbert, Weirs, big arms, blue Savannah eyes, dipped in sherbet, Herbert, Earth, Ernie Vader, Gert Lush. And he says, Oi, Razor, well, good evening. You want some? I think I have some. Now, Charles's comment, to be very honest, I don't mind, but same L, same manager for the L, same L at Anfield, same L to Unai Emery coach team. To me, there is a mentality issue. All right, okay. But if we're comparing, it's easy to say, oh, we've lost to Villa again. We won there last season.
And we drew at Anfield.
Yeah, so what we didn't take an L. But I get it. Listen, there is also this thing about, you know, people start saying, oh, Villa's our bogey club. It's not really. We're more of a bogey club for them than they are for us. But we are two teams that have aspirations and are in the top six, I would say. I don't Villa get the credit they deserve. I still don't. I think they'll be lucky to finish over 60 points. But I still, they're not in the conversation of big teams just because they were relegated. When fans at Villa Park were singing Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that. I did just think, yes, but we also never sing Champions of the First Division either. Do you know what I mean? Like, or we'll never get relegated. So it's okay. I'm happy as an Arsenal fan. You remain villains. Last time I checked, still on top of the table, 100%. How is everyone? Rosie, I'm fantastic. Fantastic to see you, by the way. Fandabirosi. There's only one Fandabirosi. I hope to do you justice. Further comments have come in that I must address for fear of being rude. Colliston with the laughter emojis. Is an Arsenal manager allowed to have a bogey team? No. Boy Ted Diaz here. Quad still loading. I'm hopeful that you're going to be, as I am, not so completely pessimistic just because we lost. I mean, I don't know about everyone else. I predicted a 1-1 draw away to Villa. That was the logical bet to make. I did make it and I cashed it out about 10 minutes before the end of the match. Because honestly, watching it, I did think this had the hallmarks of a game that was going to be a bit disappointing. It was a bit too end-to-end. We didn't look as in control. But I think Brighton are more of a bogey team than Aston Villa, if I'm honest. Now, what do we got here? Coleman, I want to see Eze left wing, but with Hincapié left back to hold the width. Interesting. Thank you for your comment. That is, what do you think to that, Zanzi?
Sorry, what was
the thing written down on the screen? Honestly,
every day. Left wing.
Nice boy, but doesn't listen to a word you say.
No, I was actually looking for an Arsenal bogey side, but
no, don't stop forking around for your Arsenal bogeys.
Well, no, but it's one of those stupid teams that we've only played them twice. The last time was like 1912, and we haven't beaten them. We've lost both times.
Who?
I don't know. I'm trying to find it. It's not Accrington Stanley or something like that.
Well, let me know when you found it. I'll go through the comments.
Yes, but I can understand that about.
Thanks. Oh no. You're going back to the looking for the fact. I'm reading the comments.
Oh, right.
Yes. Wolves are going to get an absolute pasting. Yes, they are. I think they are anyway. I get that we were knackered. Clearly, it was visible on the pitch, and we were just good from 46 to 60 when Villa sat back. Rest of the time, initiative was with them. Even they scored too late. It wasn't quite that. There were 4 distinct periods in the game, and we had most of the first half. They scored, arguably not really against the run of play, but you know what I mean. But the statistics are the eye test is different. Everyone's eye test is different, but we had more possession. We had far more passes. We had the ball more. But we just couldn't do anything with it. It was sluggish. It was a bit kind of not quite good enough. Well, I consider Emery a bogey manager for Arteta as for us. I'm not sure how that one rounds out just yet. It doesn't. It doesn't. And quite frankly, we're swamped with injuries. I don't mind the timing of this loss. I don't. I want to know where. Look, if you're, and I'm not disagreeing with you, I can't. But if you are somebody who thinks that we're not doing as well as you'd anticipated, where did you have us by now? We've dropped 11 points in the first 15 games of the season. Does that feel like a lot to you? Because if we've dropped a lot of points, can I just point out that everyone else has dropped more? I think being top of the table is an aim. I don't think we'll be top of the table come January, but if we are, I'm fully behind predicting a win in this league. I don't think City look that good. I'm almost happy that we're going to win the league already. Rosie, I was watching an odd thing. McCoy's talking about Gattuso of Rangers, and Gascoigne was asked to tell him in Italian to calm down on training. He told him to go harder instead. Yeah, I saw that interview. I absolutely love Ali McCoy. I think everyone does. I do for some reason. Great pundit. Great player. He was a great player. Huge number of goals. I do consider it a bit funny how the Bayern game is taken in post. It's not like it didn't happen. We're permitted to drop a game. Here's a question I have for you. Thanks, Boy Tendio. You reminded me of a really important question I have for you. Would you like to hear my important question?
Yes.
Thank you. So we've had some statement victories. We beat Atletico Madrid. We beat Newcastle away. We beat Bayern. We slaughtered Spurs. We've had some victories where people have gone, oh, this lot look good. Beat Man United away. Like, first game of the season. That came out. That was a bit of a statement. What statement victories have Man City had? What have they done? Like, who have they beaten that you weren't expecting them to beat? They've lost 4 times. They lost to Brighton away, which it's actually their bogey side, if we're talking bogey sides. They lost to Spurs at home. And they lost to Villa away. So when they play Sunderland away, it'd be really interesting. What if they draw with Sunderland? I love the clip of him at the ground commentating when AC/DC comes on. I vaguely remember that. Did you ever see the podcast with Ali and Laura Woods talking about Bellingham taking out his doors? No. Is that Rosie in the building? Why, hello there. Well, I'm so sorry I didn't jinx when Buendia came on. I just put that was sickening, wasn't it? That Buendia has to be the one to score, like when he should have come to. Mind you, when he came on, I was just thinking. Actually, I'm glad we didn't get him. He's been injured for 3 years, isn't he? Look at this. Jose's here. BX Gunner. I can't get my head around 8129 either. Great to see you. How are you feeling? What do you think went wrong? How confident are you feeling? Best pundit ever in my biased opinion. Yeah, that is a bit biased. Not fussed about the loss. Watched the game. Started okay. Went 1 down. Arteta got the team back into the game nicely. Villa huffed and puffed and got us at the death. Can happen. Celavi. Yeah, it's not just me. I'm glad to hear you say that. That's how I feel. It's like, you know what? Sickener. Wasn't a cup final. Wasn't a Champions League final. Wasn't last day of the season where you have to win the title. It was, I think, I forecast we'd get a point there. I thought a point would be a good result. I know I was on DG. I was in the comments on DG's channel on Friday. A bit surprised at how everyone was so gung-ho, like, we've got to win this. I was like, teams don't just go to Villa Park and win. Have you seen? Like, you know, it's rare. You guys had an off day as an outsider. It makes sweet fuck all difference, and you're still winning league. Thank you, Rosie. I think that too. I think we're so traumatized by memories of thinking we were going to do it and it not happening that I think our fan base, just as soon as things go slightly amiss, everybody's running around with their hair on fire. And there's a lot of people who just can't wait to say, I told you so. It's the same people, by the way, that said at the beginning of the season we might be in a top 4 challenge, that we'd be lucky to make the top 4. I think we're making the top 4, right? So when they turn around and say, oh, we're not going to win it from here, it's just an opinion. They could be right. If you don't think we're going to win it from here, and I think we are, we'll find out who's right. That's what we do. We wait and see. Dropping 11 points in 15 games sounds like a lot considering how City redefined what a title challenge is, but the season isn't like those seasons. Right. But yeah, in the Invincible season, that would be a lot. In the Centurion season, that would be a lot. I think this season, 90 points wins the league. And dropping 11 points sounds like a lot. But once again, if dropping 11 points is a lot, then we've dropped the fewest points of anyone. Think how many games it is, right? 15 is 45 points. Man City currently, where are Man City currently? Lost 4, so that's 12 draws. Yeah, so exactly as you'd expect. I think we've dropped 12 points. Of my math, 12 points. My apologies. We've dropped 12 points in 15 games. Think about that. That means we're over 2 points per game, which means we've knocked on to win the league by 80 points. I hate the fact that sorry, go on, Dandy.
I think I found the team. Here it is. We got beaten 5-1 in the FA Cup by a team called Swifts. 5-1. That was 1889. But that's when we were Royal Arsenal.
The league.
Them bloody Swifts.
So I've got here, the league looks ultra hostile to me. Everyone is dangerous. Everyone can take points off anyone, and I wouldn't be surprised to see more title challenges dropping points. Yes, of course we're going to drop more points. Sorry, we're going to drop more points. I have a horrible feeling about the upcoming games. We have Wolves at home, obviously. Thereafter, we have Everton away. You want to talk about bogey sides? Everton away. Our record in the last 5 years going to various stadiums. Forget what this one's called, but obviously, in the last 5 years, I think we've got 0.8 average. I think we've won once, but the past is not the future. Obviously, the future is unknown, and it's still to be written. And if we bounce back by thrashing Wolves, if this is what I honestly think will happen. I think we'll beat Wolves fairly comfortably. We'll lose at Everton. We'll draw at home to Brighton, and we'll draw at home to Villa. And every moment of the day will be filled with people saying Arteta out and it's terrible and it's shit. But the last 10 games of the season, I think we could win all of them. So 30 points, get to the 30-point mark. I don't know. Please let me know how you feel. When Dia celebrated like he'd won the World Cup, it's probably... just must feel fantastic to do what he did, though. Sadly, lucky City will go to Sunderland when AFCON is on, so Sunderland will... Oh, fuck, there's a point. See, these are the details. Well spotted. Great comment. I'm sticking a pin in that one. And Villa were robbed. Rosie, trying to make everyone feel better. We're just meant to take top 4 this season. Well, then that's the drama about emergency streams. I know. I think we've made top 4. I had a quick look at the odds. The betting odds on us making top 4 are, if you put 100 quid on, you'd win 3 quid. That's how we're in the top 4. Fine margins. Could have been 1-1. Could have been 2-1 to us. We weren't battered. Didn't play great, but it was close. No disaster at all. Spitting facts in it, blood. Bosh. Yeah, facts are boring. Then can't you say something like, I told you in July this exact result was going to happen. I told you this was going to happen. I said it, even though I was expecting us to beat them. I mean, I honestly, I deliberately released the video before kickoff just so I could say I said 1-1.
I actually think Collison 42 actually did say that in July, even though he hadn't been on the channel yet.
Yeah, you had.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been here for ages. This is coming up to a year now. Can I just say thanks to everyone? December, lots of opening hours. Got one more proper long, hard work a week. Gary's here. Wait there a moment, Gary. We'll bring you on. I'm just going to rattle through some comments.
Bye, Gary.
What's that? I think they did literally. Boyton Dio, it's a very tough league this year. Everyone beating everyone. They literally did write the same message. That's pretty cool. That is really, are you the same person? Someone should let you know. Oh shit, that is quite interesting. Half volley 1886. Brilliant to see you again. Big up landlord, disgusted by the Villa result, but not surprised. Disgusted seems a bit harsh. Can we find a more nuanced way to describe it? Disgusted is when you find a dead body. Disappointed, I get, but not disgusted. 1889, when Herbert celebrated his 21st birthday. They're at it already. Doctor, you keep eating German houses. Patient, do I really, doctor? Yes, you have Munchausen syndrome. Chris, great to see you at the top of the league for comedy as well. You've not copied Box, you just confirmed exactly. Great minds think alike, rules and fools rarely differ. Watch out. But do you know what? Let's do this. I didn't announce you properly. I'm sorry, but let me see if I can do better for.
I'll just get ready for his curtains. Hang on. Oh.
He's smiling. Stand down the guard dogs. How are you doing, Gary?
I'm good. Good. Yeah, I guess I'm not supposed to be good, right? Are we supposed to be?
No, just thinking like I thought you were going to be pissed off about the way the game unfolded.
Oh, I wasn't happy with the game, but people have been telling us all along that, we're not going to go undefeated for the rest of the season. And so we don't go undefeated for the rest of the season, and then something's different. No, it's the same.
Yeah.
No, it was bound to happen. You hope it didn't happen the next game, but it was going to happen. So. And it was.
I thought a draw at Villa Park would have been a good result. I was getting ready for everyone to be pissed off because we drew, and then obviously we did a little bit worse than draw. But in the grand scheme of things, it's 1 point difference. We're a point behind. We're still 4 points better off at this point in the season than I had expected or anticipated, or that it was reasonable to expect and anticipate. So we're doing better than everyone expected. It's just this kind of thing of the panic when we fall off a little bit. So I'm going to rattle through some of these comments. Right. So Anthony Herbert, do you want to keep an eye on the live chat? I'll keep an eye on here. Ooh, is there different types of chat? That was a great year, 1889. I had orange and a lump of coal for Christmas. I think we beat Villa at the end of December. I don't think we're losing to Everton. A draw maybe might lose to Brighton, but I'm not seeing really. No, it's fair. That's the eye test. I would probably agree with that. I want to stick a pin in that because genuinely, when you look at the last 5 visits to Everton, away to Everton, we basically suck. Everton is one of the worst performing grounds for us. I know they've changed stadium. I just can't remember what it's called. But effectively, Everton, all I'm saying is if we beat Everton, then it's a better result than we would expect given the last 5 years' performance. Obviously, that lacks the context of who's doing well and who's doing badly. But come on, man, it's going to be a tough win away. Similarly, I mean, my predictions are not based on anything more than the statistical analysis of previous events. Jose's at work and listening. Good. I don't think we're losing to Everton. A draw maybe could be, but then the fan base will go mad anyway. Might lose to Brighton. I don't see it either. I think a draw Brighton. You just don't know, do you? So, Rosie, well, at least you're feeling better, buddy. Oh, that was to Chris. Then there's a don't waste a trip writing and appearing live. Hello, Gary. Bye, Gary. If you weren't expecting it, I don't know what you were expecting. Gary hasn't updated the curtain pics on his OnlyFans. Massively disappointed.
It's news to me that there is that website. So
website?
The curtain does when I turn the lights out and leave the room.
Wow.
Not on me.
We probably go undefeated for the rest of the season at the Emirates. Yeah, I mean, like, who was it? Because Gary, you came in saying, people saying we could go the rest of the season undefeated. What?
No. I said people were saying that we're not going to go undefeated for the rest of the season. So then when we lose, they get upset.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like people saying, I tell you the other thing that's really frustrating at the moment, really grinds my gears, is people saying, I thought you said you had a deep squad. Said, yeah, no, we have got a deep squad, but they're all injured. Like there's a point where you can get to where at 12 injuries, 13 injuries, you can go, no one has a squad this deep.
Yeah,
like right, you're counting amongst our squad members, Gabby Jesus, who was playing a friendly in the under-21s. Like some of these players, like Kai Havertz just hasn't played this year, is he?
Nope.
And Gabby Jesus hasn't played this year.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you lose 3 of your 4 center backs, it's tough, man.
Can you imagine if Liverpool lost Virgil van Dijk and Konate as well now?
Yeah, and then their backup.
No, they did. They've already lost their backup.
Oh, you're right. You're right. They already left. Yeah. Yep.
So if we keep watching the stream, Dan will be able to afford curtains. I took the curtains down. Now that it's cold, I am starting to think, that's what they're for.
Yeah, that's what they're for. Mm-hmm.
I just need new curtains. I might start a GoFundMe for curtains. It was the last-minute nature of the loss that disgusted me. Disgusted is still the wrong word, Half Volley. It's not disgusting. Disgusting is like finding somebody's left chicken in the fridge for 2 weeks, and you smell it. That smells disgusting. This doesn't. This is just what happens when you really want your team to win. It's an evenly matched contest between two evenly matched teams, and the wrong team scores at the death. Can't always be. I mean, we did this to them 3 years ago when Emi Martinez got the own goal from Jorginho's wonder strike, and Gabby Martinelli ran ball into an empty net, already celebrating. God, we got abuse for that. Panic stations. Arsenal dropped points. Me. This is the thing, isn't it? People kind of feel like anytime we drop points, Man City drop points. Like Man City drop points. Everybody drops points. I'm tired of saying it already. We've dropped the fewest points of any team in the Premier League. That's one way of looking at it. If dropping points is bad, we're the best. The heat is on. The Dean 4431 from the 80s. Rosie, he doesn't find them fashionable. Oh, mate. This, wherever you want to spend this on, this one's for you. Rosie's come in with £5 for Gary showing up and for Villa getting the win.
That's not what. Okay, sorry, Rosie. That was wow.
This stream tonight is sponsored by Rosie, Fandabi Rosie, the moderatrix. In fact, the £5 is going directly to the curtain fund, and I may even get. Can you imagine how freaked out and happy all at the same time Zanzi would be if I got the same curtains as you?
Fuck me, mate. I looked for those curtains and I couldn't find them.
They're right in front of you.
We got it off it was the last one on the shelf, so sorry.
This is a great comment, a Half Volley, and you've reminded me of it, and I really appreciate that. Watching the Villa game, the one thing I was really pleased with is that we didn't seem to be settling for a draw. I was worried that if we scored first, that we would try and hold on, and then if they equalised, that we would just try and defend. I felt like we were committed to getting the 3 points, and that's the only intelligent strategy, because if you go for the 3 points and you fail and you lose, it's only a 1 point difference. If you hold on to a draw is not that valuable. Anytime you can get a win, you have to go for it. And I feel like both teams, I thought us slightly more than them, but both teams went for it. It was an exciting, thrilling game to watch. But at the end of the day, when you lose from a draw position, as we did, you've lost a point. You go again. There's 3 more points on offer at Wolves, Club Brugge, whatever. I'll probably do a watch on. I really don't care. Mo Salah timing reminds me of the ex. We'd be out of family function, decides to bring up something no one else really cares about, blow it up. So now everyone's looking, keep it in house. I beg, mate. Such a good comment. Such a good. Can we now dispatch? Can we move over to the conversation around Mo Salah? Because that was funny. Like he never talks to people. He never, like the only 2 times I've seen him talk to is when he said, this club won't give me a new contract. Then they give him a stonking great contract. Can we just take a moment and listen to Mo Salah? Hang on.
Couldn't believe it. What couldn't you believe? I'm sitting on the bench for 90 minutes. I think that's the 3rd time I'm in the bench. I think it's my first time in my career, but I'm very disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed. To be fair, I have done so much for this club. Everybody can see that during the years, and especially last season. Sitting on the bench, I don't know why. Seems like the club is throwing me under the bus. That's how I feel it. I think it's very clear that someone wants me to get all the blame. The club promised me in the summer for a lot of promises and nothing. So far, I'm in the bench 3 games, so I can say that they keep the promise. And I said that many times before. I had a good relationship with the manager, and out of the sudden, we don't have any relationship. I don't know why. It seems to me, how I see it, it's someone doesn't want me in the club. But again, this club I always supported. My kids will always support it. I love the club so much. and I will always do. Now I called my mom yesterday because I knew you guys didn't know that I'm gonna start or not, but I knew. Yeah. I called my mom and dad yesterday. I told them come to Brighton game. It doesn't matter if I play or not. I'm gonna enjoy it. We'll see what's gonna happen, but in my head, I'm going to enjoy that game if I played or not, if I'm in the bench or not, because I don't know what's gonna happen now. So I'm just gonna be in Anfield, say goodbye to the fans, going to Africa Cup. Because I don't know what's gonna happen when I'm there. So,
what do you do with the situation now, Mohamed?
It's not acceptable for me, to be fair. Like, I don't know why that's happening always to me. Like, I don't get it. I think if I'm somewhere else, every club will protect his player. I don't know why I'm in that situation now. But again, it's how I see it now. It's like you throw Mo under the bus because he's a problem in the team now. But I don't think I'm the problem. I have done so much for this club to get the respect I want to get. And I don't have to go every day fighting for my position because I earn it. People will say, you're not bigger than... I'm not bigger than anyone. I earn my position. This is football. Yeah. So it is what it is.
When you say that about the Brighton game, you mean that possibly it could, be a last game you consider your future in January, perhaps?
Yeah, in football you never know, but I don't accept the situation, to be fair. Again, I've done so much for this club.
So much to go through there. There really is. I mean, first of all, what did you both think of him announcing that, that he couldn't understand why he'd spent 90 minutes on the bench? Maybe he's not the only one who couldn't understand why he didn't. I expected him to come on, but I didn't expect the game to be a draw, to be fair. What do you think of Mo talking?
Whinge, basically. I mean, he hasn't been playing that well, to be honest.
He hasn't
4 goals he scored in the league.
Yeah, I mean, but when was the last time he scored? It was Brentford. That was in October, end of October.
Yeah, so if
you can understand dropping their forward if they haven't scored in 2 months.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it coming out. I do love the analogy to the X that starts kicking off at the worst possible time. I mean, like, Arne Slot's under a huge amount of pressure. It's been possible to look at Liverpool and think, have they fallen out? What's the dressing room vibe like? I don't think anyone's in any doubt at the moment. The dressing room vibes cannot be fantastic if Mo Salah's coming out to do this. What it really reminded me of is when Bruce Rioch was in charge of Arsenal, fell out with Ian Wright, and Ian Wright handed in a transfer request. And David Dean basically used it as ammunition to fire Bruce Rioch. I mean, Arne Slot's already dead man walking, isn't he? This isn't helping him, but does this speed it up? Which one of them is going to be last man standing? Gary, thoughts?
I think. I was going to go first and say something's going on because I don't really feel like I've ever heard Mo Salah speak. Like,
the only time he spoke before was when he wanted a contract extension, and he said that his time at Liverpool was coming to an end.
Yeah,
this would be his last season. That was last season. Then they paid him. The thing that pisses me off a little bit is talk about losing the sympathy of the common person. Oh, they don't want me here. They pay you nearly £400,000 a week. Christ knows I would love to go to a place that doesn't want me around that much. Do you know what I mean? If you could find me the place that will pay me nearly £500,000 or nearly £1 million a month, but doesn't want me around, I am there tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, if it was, I guess that means it was about the money, or it wasn't about the money. I mean, it was about the money, but it wasn't about the money. You know what I mean? It's one of those type of things because, yes, he probably stayed because of the money, but he was going to leave maybe because of the money, because of more money elsewhere. So, yeah, he made a choice. He decided to stay. Like he said, I think they're asking him to do a lot more than he had to do last year, and he doesn't like it. But I think at some point he was going to have to do something if he's going to stay, and the team is going to progress under Slot's rule, right? I mean, it's the same thing we've seen. Like, I think it's not a similar thing. We haven't had anything like that at Arsenal, but players that don't want to follow the instructions of the manager, either because they can't or they won't. So eventually they just get weaned out, and maybe that's what's happened. Because we've seen the same thing, right? We went and spent a lot of money on Aubameyang, and within a year he was gone. And you're like, what the world is going on? You know,
Oh, in the contract, yeah. I mean, it was
you just brought a player in, and the next thing you know, he wants out, and so much so that he just takes off, right? And you're like, what just happened here? And I think things change, and
I think it was
either the
really
community.
instructive what Aubameyang said on the subject when he was interviewed about it, and he said that he wanted to go, but they offered him a huge amount of money, and the fans wanted him to stay, so he stayed against his better judgment. Are you suggest? Do you think that might be the case with Mo
I'm
Salah?
saying it looks like a similar situation, right? He might have stayed for multiple reasons. And sometimes when you do that, you're not 100. It's like one of those things where a player will say, I think I might retire. But I'll come back one more
He's
year.
not retiring.
No. I'm saying a player will say, I think I might retire, but I'll stay for another year. And then you watch him in that last year, and you're like, yeah, your body already left, dude. Your body already you've already left. And it might be those type of situations where he was planning to go and he was probably happy to go, and then he decided to stay. And
I don't know. I don't find that's not consistent with the unfolding events. Like we knew that last season, the saga around Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, and Mo Salah, were they going to sign new contracts? Because they all came up at the end of last season. As we know, Virgil and Mo both signed. And I remember thinking at the time, actually, looking from a business point of view, you want it to be 2 out of the 3, but you don't want it to be those 2. They're both getting on a bit. You're paying them a huge amount of money at a point in their careers where they can't deliver like they used to. Mo Salah had an outstanding season last season because he wasn't asked to track back as much. But even though everyone is happy passing it off into a season, actually his numbers look very different if you look calendar year, because he had a great calendar 2024 and a pretty average 2025. So all of the metrics are pointing towards decline. Arne Slot's fighting for his job at the moment. He's been playing Mo Salah and it hasn't been working. He changed it around to Florian Wirtz and it seemed to work. He's obviously not handled the situation with Mo Salah in a way that stops Mo Salah speaking out about it. But at the same time, I don't know what Mo Salah wants to get out of this, because surely if he just knocked on FSG's doors and said, look, I'm obviously not part of the plans, let me go in January, I don't think they'd stand in his way. So what he gets out of making it public is not improving life for Liverpool fans. It's not improving life for Liverpool as a club, his colleagues, teammates, and manager. It's improving life for Mo Salah. And I think that's what everyone's looking at here. And I don't think anyone's sympathetic to that. I want to hear from you guys, though, if we've kind of summed it up. Dan, did you have any thoughts on it beyond that?
No, I don't know. I think from what he just said is that all the Middle Eastern sides will be thinking, oh, we can afford more than 400 grand a year, can't we?
Yeah, but that's been the talk anyway, that you could go and it would be generational wealth and et cetera, et cetera. I think the dream I think he's been really badly affected by Diaz leaving, by Nunez leaving, by Jota dying, by Trent Alexander-Arnold leaving, by a new influx of players all signed for record-breaking amounts of money that are now the superstar at Liverpool. I think he felt edged out. Colin Mod says, Everton will miss Ndiaye and Gay, 2 key starters due to AFCON, makes our job a bit easier. This is exactly what I'm missing. Thank you. You've been absolutely outstanding. So, yeah, I hadn't thought of that either. That may make Everton easy to beat, but it's just Everton, isn't it? Boyd Sendia says, I'm disappointed with Mosquera injury, though. That one sucked. I do think there was some sort of advantage to having Mosquera, Hincapié and Ray all speaking the same language and all playing with each other. Yeah, but then you can't blame. I mean, that's one that at least they can't blame on Arteta, because the guy jumps up, lands, and I still to this day don't know how the hell he's done so much damage. 8 weeks, they reckon. Right, so Chris Nix's mum has dropped him off some ouzo, which is Greek lemsip. Helped my throat. Don't really have lemsip. Don't need it now. I'm having a party.
I was just thinking to myself, if that was an Arsenal player, I wouldn't be surprised if they left, because if there was any, you talk about locker room losing the locker room, or the locker room having a little bit of tension. It's got tension now. It's got tension.
Oh man,
now.
Like this didn't come out of the tension. I agree with you.
Well, no, it's causing tension now, because every other question to any player in a Liverpool locker room question, Salah will come up. He'll be gone for.
Why did you lose to Basingstoke FC? Maybe that's the deflection tactic. Maybe Slot's gone, get out there and make yourself look like a chump, will you, so that I don't keep having to. I'll just go and move on really quickly, because Some of you may know that Anthony Ernie Vader has had a good betting ramp, and he's donated all of his winnings this weekend to the Curtains Fund. You're an absolute legend. Gert Lush! Jesus played with Oxlade and Dalman, apparently. Yeah. Oxlade?
Yeah,
and
he's
Mr.
training
Tom
with
talks
Arsenal.
wrestling. So. I still hate football. Do you? You had a great result.
There's no way he hates football. He's lying. He's lying to us.
Yeah,
That's a big liar.
Liar,
Liar, pants
We're
on
not
fire.
falling for that shit.
No. He hated football when it was 3-2. I believe he hated football when it was 2-0, actually, right?
Yeah, you would though, wouldn't you? I mean, it looked like processional. I was watching it, I loved it. I've enjoyed some good. I thought the Fulham Crystal Palace game today was great. I honestly thought when Emile Smith Rowe scored, how cool that was. Nketiah opening, Emile Smith Rowe equalising. I think he looked decent today. Still look at both of those and think, yeah, we've moved on.
There's levels, right?
There's levels to this game. Disgust is an evolutionary response. Mammals developed in order to avoid things that were diseased. The smell, sight, or taste of something can cause disgust. My missus, who is brilliant, said something that really made me think.
No. My missus is brilliant.
Are we sure it's not the same one? Have you got a picture? So anyway, yes, Gary, your missus must be. What I know about her, she must be patient.
Well, yours as well. I think it's
mine
I think it's part of the whole Mr. and Mrs. thing. One of them has to be, how do you do it? How do you do it?
Yeah, that's her. But she said, what's really interesting? Tracking the fact that people use less language now. So there are fewer words being used. And she was like, it seems to me like in your football community, it just defaults to angry all the time. That they can't express how you're really feeling. It's some nuance between anger, disappointment, frustration, and just that kind of sense that you get as you're older is like, that's life. Let's look at where we are and where we want to get to, not constantly harp on about where we've been. That kind of disgust is the wrong word. I cannot watch a game of football that close and be disgusted that we didn't win it. I'd be disgusted if it was Port Vale. I'd be disgusted if it was Crewe Alexandra, but not Aston Villa, not the third place team in the league, not the team when Man City. Did anyone make this much fuss when Man City lost there? It was just part of Villa's a good place, tough place to go. Arsenal lose there. Is this the end of their title? No, because even if we wanted it to be, right, there's still 23. There's still games left. We know there's 23 games left. Everyone, just try and bear that in mind. There's more games left than we've played so far. Great to see you, by the way, Miss Tom. And not just because it's always great to see you, but the very act of seeing you means that I feel that I'm able to.
Almost everything has something to do with Leeds United. Mr. Tom, that's my name. That name again is Mr. Tom.
I can't help it, but I'm sitting here thinking, what would happen if you told AI to go fuck itself?
How the hell are you? Right, I hope I haven't. Okay, so I'm going to rattle through some of these. Don't worry, it's soon Rodri time. Oh, Rodri time. He's going to be straight back in the Ballon d'Or form just because he spent a year and a half on the sidelines. Doesn't mean he's rusty. A bit concerned about the manager's limited rotation against Brentford and Norgard's lack of game time when midfield looks knackered. They're fair points to me. I'll put a pin in those. I'd like us to discuss those. Gary only celebrated half of that comment. Hello, Mr. Herbert. And then I'm catching up because a lot of the guy with the glasses keeps falling asleep. 400 grand a week. I know. How'd you live off that? Salah was so kind to take millions of quid and kick a ball about 4.0. Why is it always me? That's what made me laugh. Because I have to wonder. First of all, he refers to himself as Mo. And when people typically refer to themselves in the third person when they're a bit of a bellend. Dan will tell you that. Did you see when he had the balaclava on in the previous game? Main character syndrome. Oh, massively. But I love him. Hear me out. I think Joe Rogan is right when he says AI could have its own Jesus. Mate, that comment is too beautiful. I'm going to run with that idea because I'm doing a series of essays on that. That is a brilliant idea, narrative, story arc, you name it. That was good advice, Rosie, cashing out. There, I said it. Our football has also evolved in Odegaard's absence, and it worries me he's being quickly reintegrated at the expense of the team's balance. It's Eze or Odegaard, a stark choice, I feel. Yeah. Another really important one, I think we want to discuss that. Well, I'll put it to you guys in a second. His goal scoring record against Leeds, about 72 against us, is why being benched against us was the final straw. Fair enough. You can't have that many goals against you. You've not been around that much. People who work in popular sports shops in the UK wear balaclavas charging the price. Yeah, mate, tell me about it. Oh my God, can't he just sit on the bench for do you know what I mean? Literally 3 games he's lasted on the bench. 3 games. What's he crying about? Sounds like he's been waiting to get this off his chest as well. You know what? I would sell a player on FM that would cry about game time after being benched for 1 game. Yes. Are you playing the modern one? The latest one, sorry. I was always going to cash out. Oh, this is the bet thing. Where are we? Arnie Slot looks dead inside out. Halloween costume still on. Salah wins war against Slot. Slot won't last long enough, and Salah can't, frankly, just reject and move away. I've bought my son 5 pairs of trainers for Christmas, 185 a pop, normally for air. Oh, fuck me. When Anthony Taylor gave pen, I expected him to sound like Kermit. How cool would that be? Arsenal getting beat is the end of lucky wins. Yeah, don't know if that's. I mean, I don't think we were lucky against Spurs. I don't think we were lucky against Brentford. I don't think we were lucky against Bayern. In fact, I don't think your comment
it's
is
hard
based
to
on
find one of those lucky wins in any of the.
I mean, it's like, yeah. I think this is in the context of I've only got 1 sentence in me. He's probably now going to go to every other Gooner channel type. I'm saying the same thing. Get a bite somewhere. I think you're absolutely right.
You know, we were so lucky to score those goals against
all 4
Bayern Munich. Did you see
all
that
4
Bayern Munich?
Matt, 3 goals against Bayern Munich. Lucky bastards. Lucky bastards. How'd you do it?
I think what happened is they actually rolled the balls in for us. We took a shot.
Surprised.
It was going away from the goal. They said, no, in the air. And they went and got it and then tapped it in for us. So, no.
I just is just a hand grenade comment, isn't it? I'll go on Arsenal channel. They all say lucky. This defeat is come at the end of a series of 18 lucky wins. Like we've had shit tons of lucky wins.
There's only 2 teams who have beaten us on XG so far. One was Villa, and the one before that was Man United in the first game.
I have actually got a pinned out graph on XG improvement and decline. Yeah. We're doing really well. It's funny having this funereal sort of tone around Arsenal fans. Like you just want to go, is there anyone above us? Did I miss something? No, right, then I'm all right. I only fear things falling on me. I'm not. Every moment we stay ahead of Man City. The key thing that we're going to kind of talk around and around a lot, I feel, is that everyone seems to think, oh, Man City will go on one of these tears, like the one we've just been on. Oh, Arsenal don't have it in them to go 10 games in a row and win it, but Man City do. And you go, well, we're the only ones who've done it. Man City are 2 points behind us for a reason. I'd understand the morbid sentimentality if everybody was going, fucking hell, we're never going to catch this City. They're 10 points ahead of us. Even I would be sitting here going, what the fuck's gone wrong this season? But that's not the case, is it? Right. But then Isak not playing great either. Imagine if he comes out. Imagine if he comes out and starts talking to journalists. Oh, popcorn settings. Hear me out. 400 grand a week. I don't think it's that much, but it is way more than that with tax. Salah was given a contract to protect his value. He had a year left. Don't know how much value there is in Mo Salah that's worth 400 grand a week. No, 380, I think it is. So that's 1.2 million. So you have to be expecting to sell him for at least 20 million, wouldn't you? Slot puts Salah in the team, then he buggers off to Africa. Yeah, no. Great to see you, Billet. That's the other thing. I was looking at the Liverpool fixtures right at the beginning of the season going, mind you, how is AFCON going to affect them? Not, is it? They're lucky if they finish in 70 points this season. Enzo Maresca is now 0-for-3 against Leeds, proving my theory that he's a bald fraud. Chelsea's title race over as well. Theirs lasted a bit less than ours. Villa now the new third place ascending team because, frankly, some years teams do all underperform. Newcastle are underperforming. Aston Villa are overperforming. by the same exact margin as us. Branded stuff is silly prices now, Collison says. Right, where are we? Dan, you've seen any footage of Amorim getting torn a new one by Neymar? No? I have to look that up. What's that about? Do either of you two know anything about that?
Nope.
That'll be a no. I love dogs. Oh, I'm talking shoes here. Question, Gary, how are you now after one result? After you keep doing that. It's our OUR, not R. I mean, really?
You forget who you're speaking to.
No, I don't. I never forget. Those blue savannah, those piercing blue savannah eyes.
Yeah, no,
I
you know, I'm upset with the game. The different parts of it that I'm upset. People probably will be looking at me and go, "Well, you're upset about that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm upset about those little things." They're.
Get it off your chest, Gary. What are you upset about?
You know, at the end of the game, when I was sitting there, I was like, I was upset that Erdogan wasn't getting involved in the ruckus that was going on in front of him. It was just stepping back, watching all the madness. His teammates trying to get this ball out of the box, and he's not going to get involved.
He froze in panic.
And like if he just stepped towards Buendia, he never gets the shot off. He's the only one that can do it because he's the one that bumps into him on the way as Buendia's stepping into the box and all of that. So they actually bump each other at one point, and then he steps away from all the noise, and I'm like, oh, dude, just step in there. You step in there, he doesn't get the ball because he would have been closer to it. So that was one of the things I was upset about. But I think we're just
that sound that's the,
you know what
that tells you everything.
Yes, we are a deep squad, but you just you can't just keep switching your back line and everybody. Arteta's put a lot of time and effort into getting a back line that he loves.
Yeah.
And then he watches it just disintegrate in front of him over the course of a 4 or 5 game stretch, right? He loses Gabriel, and then he loses Saliba, then he loses Mascara. It's a lot to.
I want to say on that, Gary, because I think you touched on something I want to talk about, which is when it comes to it. As I said the week before, you don't hear him complaining about it. I love the phrase: if you hear someone say "it is what it is," hang around with them, because life is a race to acceptance.
Yeah.
Shit doesn't go the way you want it to. You can spend the rest of your life going, oh, why didn't it go my way? Or you can go, right, where are we right now? Who can I play? We have got Calafiori, who plays as centre-back for Italy, and we do have Jurriën Timber, who plays as centre-back for Holland. We're not bereft, but of course it's less good. It's not as good having to replace the 2 best centre-backs in world football. That's shit. And in title seasons, things like that don't happen as much, but this is new, and this is football right now, and this is where we are. And we didn't lose the game. I think your point is really good. I heard you make it yesterday on Don't Waste the Trip. Make sure you guys are subscribed and go over there. But yeah, I thought it was a really interesting take because I couldn't watch the game back. I was like, it was hard. But from memory, the thing that really stood out to me was there were 2 or 3 players doing everything they could to get in front of the ball or get rid of it. And then there were a couple of players standing around. And I couldn't swear it was Odegaard, but when you said it, I was like, yeah, why not just pile in there and kick something? What are you waiting for? There's 10 seconds left. You can't, you do whatever it takes. I think that in title seasons, in champions are made of the stuff that doesn't freeze in that moment. And maybe that's an unrealistic expectation, but as a captain, Tony Adams gets stuck in there.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, that was the one. That's one of the last memories of that game. And then you see the players afterwards. They show the videos of the players afterwards just slamming their hands on the floor, all of them, and Erdogan standing up, of course, because he never went down to the ground to affect change in that particular point. So I was like, I don't know if this. I mean, if there's all right, if there's a time when you decide, you know what, Eze is my 10, and I can only play him as a 10, and if I want to get the best out of my team, he's my 10. So what does that mean for other people? That might just mean somebody who I really want to play doesn't play for the betterment of the team, because that's what I'm looking at. Is Eze better at the 10, or can we suffer through with him at the left wing? And I don't think we've seen that we cannot. So we'll take Trossard and Martinelli over Eze at the left wing, right? So you're gonna have to make a decision, and I'm not sure you're going to get a moment's player.
Why can't Odegaard be benched? That was the question I had going into this match. I was like, why are we playing him? If this is the game to play him in, explain why. Because if you look at the only thing I'll take issue with, because I know you sort of have talked about Odegaard's defensive abilities versus Eze, but it's an eye test thing. You can't see that in the stats. Yeah. I know they haven't played the same amount of time, but Eze's got more tackles, more interceptions, more block shots. He's got more defensive involvements than Odegaard's had. So I don't even buy that. I would have played him at the 10. But my reasoning might be different, actually. It's not hindsight driven, but which obviously now confirms what I think we should have started. But then Eze didn't play well, and maybe it is just because he's out of position, but maybe he was just not that good in training. Maybe he's tired, maybe he's fatigued. But the real issue for me was I thought we needed, like, if you just looked at it as a gunner, I'm calling it gunner ball, right, instead of money ball. You look at the team and you go, I need 7 shots in this game on target to score twice. Who are the players that get a shot a game? And we've got one player on over a shot a game. And Eze, you can't leave out. Trossard, you can't leave out, because if you put them all in, you'll get shots. When you play Martin Odegaard, the guy just does not want to shoot a goal. He just does not shoot a goal. Like, he's allergic to shooting a goal.
He had his best shooting day in probably a year plus that game, right? Yeah. The goalkeeper has to make a goal-saving tap to tap the ball over there. But I'm like, all right, if that's what I'm going to get, I want to see that again. And I don't know if I will, but I do know if Eze's on the field and he gets an opportunity to shoot, he's going to shoot it, right? And you know what? It may not even be telling, because if we're playing Wolves and he gets in there and he scores a goal or whatever, is that actually going to confirm to me that it's going to work? Because that's not really the game. That's not going to be the game that says, all right, I think he's back, right? Because I feel like if we don't score goals in that game, then something else is going on, and it has nothing to do with Odegaard anymore, or whether he plays or not.
We had a bad day at the office in front of goal.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really close match. I do feel like there were 4 distinct stages. It had a basketball field. Good night, Tom. Thanks for joining. But definitely from taking a view of who I would have had in the starting 11, Odegaard annoyed me. It was because it plays into that narrative. Oh, he's the captain, can't drop him. It goes, well, yeah, we can. We've got a squad now. You pay the best players for every given situation. And if the fact is that Eze's had some really good games, some really instrumental, he's won us points.
Eze was getting better and better. And then all of a sudden we stick him out on the left wing and he doesn't play well.
And I hope it's not petulance. I hope it's not him going, I don't want to play on the left, because that's a terrible characteristic. We saw that with Mo Salah. But I think, look, there are a couple of things that no one's going to want to hear, because winners win and losers make excuses. So I'm sitting here thinking, how many games in a row do you expect before you see a drop-off in performance level? We saw a drop-off in performance level against Chelsea. We bounced back, but there is just the eye test. Whether or not they're justified in feeling this way, or whether I'm right, they look knackered. And if they look knackered, that doesn't mean they are knackered. They're either knackered because they've done too much physically, or they're knackered because they're just fed up, mentally just don't want to do it. Now, obviously, if they're mentally fed up, we're fucked, because you can't win a title if you can't be asked to turn up against Villa. So I have to feel like maybe they are just tired, maybe travelling away as much as they have, maybe no end in sight, a really big fixture pile up coming. I felt like before the international break against Sunderland, they looked like that, and then they came back and they're a bit fresh, but it's just so many minutes, and the fewer players we have fit in the squad, the more minutes other players have to make up, and that has a knock-on effect. But in terms of the starting lineup, I wasn't furiously angry about it. I was interested to see how Eze would do, because I wanted him in the team, as I've already said. I thought I'd have started with Gyökeres, but clearly didn't have 90 minutes in him, and then played 45 minutes anyway. But then the reality is, when Gyökeres was playing, did he have a shot? I don't remember him having a shot.
Yeah. No, I know a lot of people are not too impressed with the way he played, and I'm like, well, the things that they're complaining about, the things that he wasn't really good at in the first place. Like, can you hold up the ball? No. He doesn't hold the ball the way you want. He's not used to the contact in Premier League football. We've seen it. Like, from day one, we saw it, and it's gotten a little bit better, but it's never going to be like he's been out for a while. So when he comes back in, and then you go, oh, his hold up play is gone. It's like it probably is because he built up to it, and then he got hurt. He built up to the place where his football looked really good, and then he got hurt, and then it's almost like he's starting over again. So now we're back to, can he hold up the ball in a on a Premier League pitch? And the answer is again no. But will he get there? Probably, if he keeps playing. Right? If you just play some more football, get some more, juice back into the legs, kind of thing, and get moving. But I think he's a player that if we're gonna play him, we have to play a certain way to get the best out of him. If we're not, then we made.
I don't. I mean, that worries me a little bit as well because we signed as and people like when they were talking about Gyökeres on TV, they're saying big money signing. I was like, he cost half of what Alexander Isak cost.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we spent on Gyökeres roughly what we spent on Kai Havertz or Eze. Like, if you want to talk money, we've spent. I think here's the thing: everybody who hadn't really seen Gyökeres play and just saw the goals he scored at Sporting made the case that this was an elite goal scorer and he would finish and he would get 20 goals a season, and not everyone agreed with that. A lot of people, I know, that a lot of people thought I was absolutely lunatic when they were saying. Gyökeres is right now, Šeško is a project. And I was like, I think they'll probably both score about the same amount of goals right now, but Šeško has a bigger ceiling. Now, it hasn't worked out as I would have expected it to for Šeško at Man United, but come on, man, who does it work out for at Man United? So I still think Šeško is a better player. And now suddenly they're watching Gyökeres for a few games and they're noticing that he's not as physically imposing in the Premier League as he is in the Portuguese league, nor is he as fast in the Premier League as he is in the Portuguese league. And in terms of touch, he's not ever. He was at Coventry. He's not, but he's our player now. So I was getting to the point on Saturday watching it, going, he's my guy, but I don't like watching him play football. It's not. I don't. The idea now that we would build a team around that to me seems. He's going to have to figure out how to fit in or fuck off. That's how I feel. And there are games, I think Zanzi was on this earlier. There are games where you want, you're going to face a siege mentality, two back fours. But this was never going to be that game. And maybe in that game, as a battering ram or someone who is Captain Chaos, that's where you need him. This game felt more like the kind of game where if you had him playing further up the pitch, trying to link people in a way that maybe even Trossard or Eze would have done if you played them further upfield. Certainly the way Kai Havertz would have done, and Gabby Jesus. Then Gyökeres for me wouldn't have started. But the thing is, Gyökeres, the idea that we're not playing to Gyökeres' strengths is probably true, but I don't know how you would in the Premier League, because what would you say are his principal strengths?
Well, I mean, I believe he's a good finisher. So if he's getting the ball in situations, he's going to be able to finish better than anybody else at that role.
Not in terms of like stats. He's not in stats. Like even when he was top goal scorer in Europe.
I'm just talking about in the Arsenal forwards is what I believe. The center forwards, I believe he'll be a better finisher than what I've seen from Kai Havertz and what I've seen from Jesus.
Yeah, there's no
So
maybe Jesus.
So I'm just saying that's what I feel. That's why I feel like he would be. That's why I think we got him. Somebody else who can finish, right? You're good, Gary, because I saw the scramble and just looked away, looking inevitable. What?
You're saying because you carried on looking and saw that Odegaard wasn't getting involved?
Yeah. No,
I think a lot of us just turned away from the game. And
you know what? And I think I may have seen it on the replay because they showed the replay again, and that's when I saw it. I didn't see in the moment. And there's too much going on. But they showed the replay of how it played out, and I'm like, oh man! And it's just, I mean, hopefully, they look at that video as a squad. Everybody, certain people will take certain things out of it. Certain people will realize certain things out of it. Right? There might be some of those players on the ground looking around at some of those players not on the ground, going, "I'm not doing this for my help. I'm doing this to get us a win." Why am I by myself?
Is it just me, or are you getting that from what you're saying? Are you also getting a feeling that there was a moment in the match, I'd have to watch it again to put my finger on it, where Declan Rice seemed to be looking at Odegaard going, are you going to step up here, or are you going to fucking get involved?
You know what? Declan Rice, that is the man, right?
Yeah, we know.
That is the man, and like when I was doing the watch along, I'm like, and there he is again, and you knew what I meant.
Right. Did you see? And this would have been in the first half. There is a moment where Declan Rice is in our area. He clears the ball, lumps it downfield towards Emi Martinez, and he's the first one there to put pressure on Emi Martinez.
Yeah.
Declan Rice outran his own ball. Where was everyone else?
Yeah.
Where was everyone else?
And when I say to people that he is like that Henderson on the Liverpool team, they go, I'm like I remember that Liverpool team, and Henderson, he wasn't like the most technically sound player, whatever you want to call it. He wasn't a Van Dijk, he wasn't a Salah, but he was he was the leader on that field. When he did anything, where do I need to go, coach? Oh, you need a center back? I'll do it, right? People have even said it. If we need to, we'll put Rice at a center back just so we can get through this game, because we need somebody, and that's all we got. That's the guy. He will do that. And that's the people, you jump on his back, he'll get you there. But you're not coming for free. And like you said, if he was looking at any of his players asking for, like, dude, step up. We have some business to take care of here. That's the man. You got to listen, because I think he's been showing, and like he's been putting in the work. There's a lot of 90-minute games for him, and I'm like, he can only do so much by himself. Like you said, he puts the ball in a situation. You're like, all right, he can do he can only do so much, right? You're gonna have to help him out. Somebody help him out, please. Whoever it is, if it's Eza, if it's Erdegaard, if it's Saka, you got to help him. He's doing everything he can to get you the ball, right? He's doing everything he can to put you in a situation to score.
So why did Odegaard stay on for the entire? I'm going to go through some comments, but the general question for both of you and the audience members in the chat: why was Odegaard on for 90 minutes? Tyrell Gunner TV, great to see you, mate. Make sure you're subscribing to him.
Because he hadn't played 90 minutes before. That's why.
Hang on, let me go to comments. Put a pin in it, Gary. We're just going to run. You know what it's like. Good choice, Boy Tendio. Big up, Anthony. Rosie, I'm good. How are you? Chocolate milkshake, banana milkshake. They're on the milkshakes. As much as you can dig out performances, Villa were working hard. Yeah, Villa really turned up. I think they looked slightly. No reason for it. I think they played within hours of when we did. The strawberries are in season. Fantastic. Not in the UK, they aren't, but obviously, no, it's winter. I'm enjoying my strawberry milkshake, Rosie. Don't even have a milkshake, just saying. Random. They're in the season. They are in season in the lab. Perfect. And in the cellar. Strawberries are coming from Spain, and they're bland. I don't know why. I might just give the comments a miss for a bit. I agree. Strawberry and banana milkshake or Gert Lush, but the last two chocolate milkshakes I've had have tasted like. Insert your own dirty word. Damn it, right, and you'll have to charge. I don't think it's fair of Gluminati to be demanding Arteta to get production out of Gyok. He doesn't look past my eye test. What we got out there is what we'll get. I kind of agree with that point, India. We can come back to that. Right. It's not realistic to change the whole team's tactical approach for a player who isn't even passing the eye test consistently. I think you're right. I'm not sure we will do. Imagine we spent half a decade building a team to play possession football, and now we must change everything. Yeah. That aside, we have Gyok now. I want to know why people they wanted Gyok in broad strokes aren't willing to believe that we're going to win anything. I know it's just because everyone's living on their emotions. No one's really looking rationally. The number of people I think who tell you that we've got 5 really tough games coming up and haven't even looked to see what they are, what the next fixture is. Highline and Portuguese league defense. Yep. I hear you, Gary, because that Declan clearance captain material. Yes. There was one highlight where Gyok got like 6 touches in box and just thought to myself, never ever happen in the Prem. There were a couple of moments from Gyok, though. I think once fully fit, who knows? I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, like I said, I don't know. The last time he played, I don't know if you remember that. He actually looked pretty good until that.
Yeah,
until just before halftime, right? And
exactly.
You're like, why did he go down? And you're like, oh, he never comes back.
I don't want you to think that the conversation is between he's terrible and he's great.
No. I'm just saying you're saying
that we're all making is that. Yeah. Well, you specifically said that we need to find a way to play to his strengths, and I think what Boytendi and I are saying is that no, he's not that good.
Yeah,
I would find a way to play to Vinicius Junior's strengths. I would find a way to play to Kylian Mbappe's strengths, but not John Hartson and not Gyökeres.
Maybe that's a bad phrase that I use there because I like we might have to find the moments when he's going to succeed for us, and maybe playing in a Villa game on the road in that type of environment wasn't the best fit for him. And if we did ever if we did have Kai Havertz, he probably would have started, and that'd have been
And
fine.
that would
But
cause
then,
its own
yeah.
meltdown in the fan
No.
base.
Well, you know what? I don't care about that. It's all about what Arteta thinks will get us the win, right? Because if then we turn around Wolves and we're like, "Hi, Havertz, you rest," and Gyökeres, you go in there and you have fun with the football that you're going to see, and you do whatever kind of thing, right? Maybe it works out, and that's because we've always right now, as far as where we sit, we're not, we're not seeing like we're not going to be dropping points right now. It seems to
No, I think
any
we're
team in the
no,
bottom
but to
half
keep
because that was
specifically on the Gyökeres
no.
question.
What I'm saying is our problem has always been we've been really good against the top 6, right? But against everybody else, we've struggled, right? And so far, whenever we played a team, the only team outside of Sunderland, everybody else we play, you would consider maybe top 6 at one point, right? And we struggled against them, and it's shown in the past that sometimes you don't need to play your best, but you don't need to get all the wins against those teams. You just need to make sure.
I still feel this is drifting from because no one's disagreeing with any of that. Like we are, the team's performance against lesser teams. We've dropped 12 points out of the first 45, right? So we're on 33 points. That's not bad. If you extrapolate that, puts us on 83 to 86. It's not bad. No one's saying it's bad. But on the subject of Gyökeres, when it comes up, there are various things that are said. Arteta's going to need to figure out how to play to his strengths. Get more crosses in would probably be one way of doing it. Have him higher up the pitch would definitely be a start. He's not the sort of player I expect to see running into space. I don't think he's fast enough to do that, and his touch isn't good enough. And we've got Martinelli for that anyway. The idea basically is the subject is Gyökeres isn't playing brilliantly. Marino started for the first 45 minutes and wasn't impressive. Gyökeres came on and wasn't impressive. Something else is problematic here. I don't think it's either just one of those two players. But I'm going to go through the comments so that we just get through them. Gyök would benefit from having Havertz on the pitch with him. They could cover each other's weaknesses. I'd love that. I'd like to see that. I'm sure we will at some point. Rice, Gabriel, and to a certain extent Marino are the real leaders in this side. Arteta has created an ethical dilemma for himself by making Odegaard captain. But I don't think it would. Okay, I'm not saying you're wrong, Hoffoley. I'm just saying that according to Arteta, and I think he may be lying, so let me just balance that. He didn't pick the captain. The squad and the coaches picked the captain, and they picked Odegaard by a mile. He said, if that's not true, and Arteta has just chosen to have Odegaard, then I would say it is a difficult position to make someone captain and bring in someone who's better and have to make them captain. But football is full of tough decisions. You'd have to make it in the interest of the team. As it stands, we're going back to this. Saka's a captain. Declan Rice is a captain. Gabriel is a captain. Odegaard is a captain. I don't really know about Marino in that context. But I think you need captains' mentalities across more than just those players anyway. And he's gone off to bed. Has anyone noticed that after teams get a result against us, their form falls off? Yeah, Chelsea. I think Villa's form is going to fall off anyway because they've got a really tough run of games coming up.
No, I talked to a friend about that as well because I was like, you've seen it every team we played. So I think they definitely play up for us, but I think every team plays up for us. But it takes a lot of that game. That was a big game, and international football, and then 2 games a week. We'll see how it plays out. If they're able to, they come the weekend. If they get 3 wins in a row, essentially, then they've overcome that.
I don't think you have to. You don't have to worry about Villa. Villa, like I said, it would be really impressive if they finished over 63 points. The games they've got coming up are West Ham away, Man United at home, Chelsea away, and then us away. So they should drop at least 6 points in those games, that I would guess. Just to say, at Villa, oops, what have I done here? So at Villa, near the end, there was the ball square across the box. Nobody got onto it, and that's where you want Gyök steaming in at the back stick. Yep. If Gyökeres was perhaps a little bit taller and his game with the ball at feet was the same, then I could fathom shifting tactics for him because I think we're not shifting tactics for him. If Gyök was just more technical, we could change tactics for him. But I don't think we have to change tactics if he... Surely we have a way of using a player like Gyökeres. And also, like you said, I can't remember exactly who he was playing against at home when he came off at half time and he'd scored. And who was that game against? I have to look it up.
Yeah, I have to look at the last game he played for. Yeah, but like I said, he looked really good in that game, and like it was
Burnley.
he seemed to be coming into his own, essentially, of how we wanted him to play. Whether Burnley, it may not be the right
No, it wasn't Burnley.
elixir. Yeah, but yeah.
Rude One Star saying, I'll go further with Gyoks. That Chelsea game right at the end. Alpha male lets Timber know, get out of the way, I'm scoring this. But yeah, no, yes, I'm surprised he didn't shout that ball in. Wishes he had a girl. If he did, he would call.
Yeah, no, it was Burnley. Was the he came out of the Burnley game.
Okay, to win this title, we need to streak away and create a significant buffer like Paul. No, we don't. No, we don't. Why do you think that? That, like, I tell you what, I'm more than happy to go through it, but just to look at the fixtures coming up and suggest which games you think will win and which ones see. So 2 horse race now. And when you do that, you realise actually this game is going to go down to the last 2 or 3 games of the season. And right at the end of the season, where this, on the 18th of April, we are away to Manchester City. After that's pretty good result, pretty good run of games. We've got Newcastle home, Fulham home, West Ham away, Burnley home, and Palace away. We could win all of those games. We beat City. It makes a big difference. We don't need a 10-point buffer. Your idea of a 10-point buffer is based on Man City teams of the past. Does this Man City team look like the treble-winning team or the Centurions? No, it doesn't. It looks like last season of Man City where they lost 9 games. They've lost 4 in the first 15 games. 8 is on. 9 is likely. Gyökeres will come good. He could be the difference. No, I don't think he's going to be the difference. I think that's something I'm fairly certain about now, that Victor Gyökeres is going to be part of a successful squad, but he's not going to be a star in it. Reality is no one knows till it unfolds. And if you do, lottery numbers, please. Thank you. That is one of the box fresh is one of the most sensible points that you never hear this. Like everybody I hear on you, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, we are going to do this, we are going to do this. That's just an opinion. Calm down. You have an opinion. How was it formed? How often do you find you're always right? Never. Right. Move on then. I said at the start of the season, and then I'm doing this purely statistical analysis. I'm not giving any eye test value to this whatsoever. My eye test is that we look better than Man City at the moment. The data says we are better than Man City at the moment. And the squad depth charts, everything looks like we're better than them. And I'd find it less irritating if people told me I was deluded and we were third. If I sit here and say we're a better team than Man City, they go, right, this is ridiculous. You go, well, why aren't they doing better than us then? And why have they lost 4 games already this season? Why did they lose at home to Spurs? Why did they lose away to Brighton? Why did they lose away to Villa and we didn't talk about it? We lose away to Villa in the last gasp game much closer. Meanwhile, they're struggling to finish Fulham off, having been 5-1 ahead. You know, like, this is not that City side where I go, yeah, they're just going to win 12 in a row. They haven't yet. So I'm not saying that anyone who tells me we're not going to win the league is wrong. I'm just pointing out that none of us know. But to the people who say we're definitely going to lose because we dropped points to Villa, where did you think we'd be at this point in the season? How did anyone really think, given the start we had? I honestly thought we'd be out of it by now. I thought people would be shouting and cheering for Arteta out so loud that it got silly. I honestly thought. The other thing is, going into this round of games, I thought we probably would have lost one of those massive, catastrophic loss to Spurs or Chelsea. And then this part of the season, we have a suspiciously tough, well, not suspiciously, we have a run of games that looks a lot easier than it actually is based on data. And if we do only take 6 points out of the next 12 points, people will be all over it. Man City will be top at the end of the year. And everyone will say, oh, it's theirs to lose. But where have their statements been? Why does it look like they might have to play an extra game in the Champions League? Why Bayer Leverkusen going to the Etihad and winning? Do I think that Man City, who I've watched play so far this season, will go the rest of the season unbeaten? No. They've still got to go to Anfield. And even the great Man City side never won at Anfield. And I know this is a different Liverpool, but we can tell them it's still tough up there. I'm out of the belief that there are these sticks being passed around to flog the manager with, like player rotation, sub-choices and tactical decisions. And the position doesn't make sense holistically for me. Yeah, no, I think there are a lot of people with agendas that don't like it when it starts to look like they might be wrong. And they jump up and down for any sign that, he's not rotating properly. Look, I think he's rotated better than he has at any time before. He's not an expert at it. That's for damn certain. Here we go. You check out footage of a young Neymar playing the Brazil versus Portugal. Neymar taking a piss out of Port Amorim, who's a fullback. I'm definitely going to go check that out. That's just like your opinion, man. The Duderino, if you know. Oh, hang on. Where is this? I've got this. Don't worry, man. I've got this. Or I did have anyway. I know. Apparently, I don't. I had a little video thing that said, "It's just like your opinion, man." But I don't, so you just have to imagine it. I'd be chuffed with Top of Christmas. I don't think Top of Christmas matters anymore to me. I'd like it though. If I'd like Man City to do slightly worse than I expect. If you just take a quick look at Man City's forthcoming fixtures, having dispatched Fulham 5-4 and Sunderland 3-0, which they're all jumping up and down about, like is a fantastic result because they beat Sunderland at home. Like, oh, Arsenal drew to Sunderland, but we beat them. It's like it's different when you go to the Northeast, as they will know from losing to Newcastle away. So they lost to Newcastle away, we won. They lost to Villa away, we lost to them. And they lost to Spurs at home and we beat them. So they are coming up. Palace away for Man City next weekend. Palace away. West Ham at home, Forest away, Sunderland away. So I could see them. If they drop 6 points from that and we drop 6 points, we're still top. Oh, that's it. Various someones were adamant Arteta would be sacked by Halloween. It's Christmas soon. I know. And then we're in a top 4 race. You can't listen to them. Not the same City team of the past, agreed, but we need to create a gap to give ourselves the best chance and avoid external factors affecting the outcome. Gap would be bigger if not for injuries. I think, yeah, but what you're saying is essentially we want to win every game we can, right? That's true. I'm kind of jealous that other fan bases can hive mind effectively. Yeah. Actually, do you know what, Boy Tendia, you deserve a star for that comment. I think what is wrong with us sometimes? What do you change about this? Would one trophy lift the mood enough? Because, God, it was literally on the whistle. I was on YouTube and the people were already coming out to say, it's over. I told you this would happen. It's like the people who say, I told you this would happen. They don't talk about the things they told you would happen that didn't happen. Oh, I told you we'd get battered by Bayern. I told you we didn't have a strong enough team to beat Tottenham. I told you we'd lose to Chelsea. I told you we'd lose to Villa. See, I was right. And it's like, yeah, because a stop clock is right twice a day, especially Man United. So many of their trophies are attributed to just fan support and belief. It's a bigger question than I think we have time for this evening. Do either of the panelists, esteemed panelists to my right, have an opinion on whether the fan base might be costing Arsenal points? Because you know that we are on.
I have that much power. I didn't know I had that much power.
Not on your own. I mean, collectively.
I don't think so, because when they step onto that pitch, I don't think they hear any of that. I don't think they.
No, I don't think they do in the days where the minutes on the pitch. I think it's when they're at home after a game.
And you know what? You're gonna like if they know anything, they know they're gonna hear a lot of craziness going on there. So I think they have a lot of that. They have to kind of shut it out because it can get to you, right? So now I mean, you have a good day, you have a bad day. I mean, we've seen it, right? Saka had a really bad day in the Euros once, and we've seen him since then be able to just shrug it off and move on with his life and get his game hasn't suffered for it at all. So yes, players can have the worst kind of interactions with the masses and still say, I don't care. I got my own things. I can.
Do you think it transmits like to the stadium? Do you think the expectation level of fans is like you just can't seem to keep them happy? You know,
I think it's my fault, to be honest. Because
I'm being polite, but we did want to say, yeah, Zanzi.
Yeah, well, no.
Can you not interrupt us, please, while we're in the middle of...
Sorry, I thought you were talking to both of us. That's what you said before.
I'm joking, Zanzi.
There. Okay.
Learn to spot humor. That's the last stage of your programming, and then you're ready to go out in the world.
Yeah, programming. I did. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Zanzi. A lot of you think Zanzi's real. I'm working on an AI.
Yeah.
It's gone horribly wrong, obviously. First of all, that's supposed to be a 25-year-old's voice.
That guy sounds like he's 75. I know. Yeah, you messed up. Did you hit the wrong button? You know, is it?
Must have done. I'm not a great programmer. What do you want?
Hang on. So I'm buffering now. Anyway, as I was going to say, because when we lost to Villa, I went downstairs, saw the missus. She says, "How did you get on?" I said, "Oh, we lost to the Villa." She said, "You lost?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Are you upset?" I said, "Well, we only lost the game, so not really."
I got that. I got a massive hug from the father-in-law because he was round, and I was like, "It's okay. I was only predicting that we'd draw, so we've lost a point." And he goes, "Yeah, but Man City winning." I was like, yeah. No, he was like, "Well, maybe Man City won't win." I was like, "No, look, there is no chance Sunderland go to the Etihad and beat Man City. Like, let's live today." I just think it would be interesting if you added up all the happy moments Arsenal have given you this season, and you could only become infuriated, fuming, disgusted if you'd run out of credits, and they haven't. In 2 weeks we battered Tottenham, we battered Bayern, we drew at Chelsea, which everyone got a bit frustrated by, but it was a draw. And this is a really sad last gasp winner, but yeah, I can deal with it. Boy Tendia says, "If I was Saka and I go home, I browse some YouTube and I see the fan base giving it limbic energy when we're busting our asses to get to the top of the league, I'd be kind of disappointed." Yeah, I agree. But he, not watching this, he won't be, Boy Tendia. He watches the Adams Arms. I think he's one of the most intelligent footballers, so he would do. And he thinks, do you know what? Actually, these look all right. I want to win the league for these.
Like I said, that's like water off a duck's back, as they say, for him.
I have a keen interest in sports psychology and some books written on it, and I think that one of the funny things about studying behavior, like the sports side, things like that, is that everything matters. It matters every moment, every negative impulse, everything is training. And I think your point is that correct me if I'm wrong, but you're kind of saying that they're so well trained, they're so well drilled, they're so focused on the task at hand that they effectively block out other things. I think that could be true, but I would much rather, just to eliminate any possible doubt, I would much rather the fan base was supportive than because I do not remember. I remember 5 Premier League titles. I do not remember one where the fan base was as neggy as ours is now. And I get it. I understand it's been so long since anyone won a league. Everyone's just expecting. I hear guys at 19, 20 say, "You have to win games like this." And you go, "No, you don't. You don't have to win games like this. You don't have to win them all. If you lose 2 games in the first 15, if you lose 5 games in the whole season, then you can still win the league." In fact, most champions do win and lose between 4 to 5 games a season. Yeah. That is the standard. We are on track for the standard. In every way that you measure success as a football club, we're tracking better than anyone else.
Yeah,
we have points.
I was alive. I could have watched it, but I was not in. I think I was in college at that time. But my understanding is of the '89 season, there were games that where points were dropped or games were lost, that you basically could say, you know what, it's probably done. We probably have not done enough to win this league.
I can go a step better, actually. I can say, you can compare this season directly to 91 and see where you come out, because we're almost level on points with that team's accomplishments. There's only 2 teams that won leagues over those 5 that have a better position at this point in the season. So as an Arsenal fan, it's easy for me. I look back at those 5 and go, yeah, shit, we're not in the same shit situation we were in 89. We're not in the same shit situation we were in 97, 98. We were miles behind. Like 12 points behind Man United, or at least 10. And that was in March. So looking at it, when I hear people say champions don't do this or champions don't do that, the thing that they apply a completely different standard. When we go to Anfield and don't win or lose, they say champions go to Anfield and win. When City won 4 Premier Leagues in a row and never once won at Anfield, haven't won at Anfield in over 20 years. So it's just not true that this is what champions do. When Liverpool start the season playing really badly and winning, they go, this is what champions do. Well, no, it's not what champions do. They're not there is one thing that champions do, but I tell you, if there was, it's getting more points than everyone else. So let's have a quick look at the Premier League table to see who's behaving like champions and who isn't. Because I'm sick to the back teeth of Man City fans erupting everywhere like mushrooms after a bit of wet. You know, like every Man City fan now going, "Oh, beware the blue shark." You were shouting at your team 2 days ago. You were shouting at them, "This isn't good enough. This has to change." They held on to a 5-4 at Fulham, and their fans were, "We're done. It's over." They beat Sunderland at home 3-0, and they want to convince me they are the Megalodon. You know, they're just not playing like the Man City they used to. It'd be like me going, "Well, when we were in this position as the Invincibles, it's 20 years ago." Yeah. Look at the players that have left Man City since those big teams.
I'll tell anybody who will listen that, you know, they always tell you, you know what, the eye test will tell you how things have been going. I'm like, so my eye test tells me that no matter who we put back there, our defense is somewhat solid. We can be the best in the world, but even no matter what, I think our defensive structure is pretty well. Nobody's running away from us in a game. We're going to give ourselves an opportunity.
2 goals.
Right. So in our worst game, maybe defensively, we've given up 2 goals twice, right? And you know, we're gonna expect that to happen again? No, we're probably going maybe a little bit of streak. Right? The other part to this is, I believe the players that have played in that Villa game, a lot of them, that's the first time they experienced that with Arsenal, and the experience will be really good for them come end of the season. When people say, when it's the money, when they say it's a money time now, these players would have played in that Villa game, and when they and I believe they should be trusted late in the season, when guess what, Saliba and Gabriel either need to come off or having a bad day, whatever the case may be, and they're going to be able to lean on any player on that back line outside. Right now, the only player I feel doesn't have that trust and confidence, I feel, is Skelly.
So you're making the point that so just to follow on, you're making the point that it's good that we give some of these guys game time in games like Villa.
No, I think this. I'm not saying they deserve the game time, but I'm saying this experience will help us. Because if we were healthy, we would have played. If all our players were healthy, they probably would have played this one, and they wouldn't have got this experience. But it did show to Arteta that, look, maybe I did pick the right guys to bring to the squad. Because you know what, I think they did pretty well, and they maybe made little mistakes here that we can work on and build on and get better from. So
that's not really on the point of when people say that we're behaving like champions or we're not behaving like champions. Though.
I don't know what that means, because I guess I haven't seen us win. So I don't know what that means, because I haven't seen Arsenal win. But I can tell you,
Man City win. You've seen everyone else win. You've seen Liverpool win. Surely, like I'm saying, is like to the point that we seem to be compared by a different standard, because when we go to Villa Park and lose, champions don't lose at Villa Park. Well, if Man City become champions this season and it's not us, they lost at Villa Park. That's what happens. Great teams go to Villa Park. Villa Park have conceded 6 goals at home this season, including the one to us. 6 goals. 3 of them were in the same match. How many teams have gone there and not got a sniff of a goal? I did the research. But anyway, I'll be frank with you. Arteta got a goof real hard before January for me to discredit that Bayern result in a hurry. Thank you. I think that's fair. Or the Tottenham one, or Newcastle away, or Man United away. We've had some statement wins. Atletico. Anyone want to talk about Atletico? Anything that players interact with is affecting them. Most of the game is mental. This goes for all field sports. I would agree with that. I think Roman and Chelsea changed everything, especially with expectations. Yes, they did. But even those teams were finishing on 80-something points. They weren't like scooping. It's just, I was going to message you, Jose. How are you? Oh, I probably didn't need to read that out. I didn't become an Arsenal fan to suddenly balk when supporting the club would have me look like a fool. We're winning a quad. Call me deluded. I can fucking see it coming into view. I'm with you, man. I'm standing there with you. We're in the era of hyper rage, bait, internet manipulation. Just saying. Now that you've said that, can I put heated on the title? That'll get them looking. My faith is at maximum. It is. I'm glad you chose that word. It is about faith. It is about when you don't know what's going to happen. You have to have faith or not. And if you don't, maybe just shut up for a bit. But if the heady combination of thinking that you're saying something really clever when you go, Arsenal are going to bottle it again, and someone says, why? And you go, because they always do. Thinking that's a clever thing to say. I get it if you're a Chelsea fan. That probably is a clever thing to say. But as an Arsenal fan, keep your mouth shut. Maybe no one wants to hear your opinion. Maybe the bus ride home after a defeat is made easier by not going, I told you this would happen. But people want to claim credit for seeing things coming that We lost away to Villa. There's pretty good odds on that happening, to be fair. Actually, that's not true. I misspeak. I couldn't believe. That's why I did quite well out of the game, because I couldn't believe that the odds were so. People were betting on Arsenal so heavily to win that game. I'm in a group chat. Guy in there sent a message. Voice note sounded like he was crying because we lost. Melts everywhere these days. Yeah. Who does that? Who does that? I mean, the whole thing and hearing the same word fuming over and over again. I'm fuming. Well, what? So what? You're fuming. Okay, now what? What does that matter? No one cares that you're fuming. What? Well, I'm really. If they don't win me a trophy, they're not going to win you a trophy. How are they going to win you a trophy? No one's ever going to win you a trophy. You in life. You have a right. So many of our fans, of course, have been led this far. They want to see a trophy. But in life, you have a right to earn things. You have a right. You get the things you work for, not that you dream of. You want to see Arsenal win a league? Put a shirt on, score a hat-trick in the final game of the season. They're the things you can do. Everything else is just hoping other people do their best for you. And if you get, and that's what football is. It's about putting your hope and faith in a group of people to achieve something you'd like them to achieve. You have no right to be fuming or disgusted or embarrassed or anything else, because it's not you working. Anyone can sit around and go, I'm disgusted by that. Anyway, going through the final comments before we slowly wind down. Please, gentlemen, think of your final words. Raging bait is the latest addition to the dictionary, I believe. Is it? It's not one word, though, is it? Hopefully done in another 2 hours. Jose, hardest working man. I hope you do. That's exactly right. Gary's absolutely right again, as usual. I'm trying to keep it under a 2 hour format. Although I do just want to say we've had a lot of people watching. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but in the in the handheld, you know what I'm saying. So thank you. Welcome to the Adam's Arms Sunday Social. Back on Tuesday for the Tuesday Club. Gary, last thoughts, please.
Yeah, no, it's, you know what? I'm happy with this squad. I like I said, the game didn't go the way I wanted, but it's not every game's going to go the way I want, and I can move on to the next one. We come out. I give Declan's passport has been revoked as far as I'm concerned. He is not going to Club Rouge. Okay, he is not going to Club Rouge. Let the man stay home, hang out with his family, see his daughter and son or whatever baby he has, and let him rest. When he come back, you put him on the bench against Wolves, and then he'll be ready to go. But that man does not deserve to be on a plane.
I don't even know if it's worth flying to Bruges. I'll be honest with you. It's like you're in the air for so little time. I think it's a Eurostar.
Yeah. So, but Saka and Zubimendi, they get what they call it, they get the airplane miles, but they probably don't get a sweat. Okay.
I love what you're saying. I don't even think I'd put them on a plane.
I hope so, but I'm just saying they don't play. Like, we need, some people will play this game no matter what. And they better be prepared to play 90. So that's how I feel about it. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow.
Nice one. 12:30 tomorrow, right? Yeah. Catch out. Don't hesitate. I will see you there. Zanzi, last words in the time-honored fashion.
It's been emotional. I'm raging at the moment. You can probably tell that I'm raging that we lost to Villa. I'm really glad to be so close to Gary's curtains again, but that's another story.
You may want to take an injunction, Gary, because if he gets any closer,
yeah,
I've been stroking them, and Gary hasn't noticed it yet.
We steam clean them every show that you mention it. I know. Because I know something. Yeah, it's just part of the
fuming and steaming.
But it's been another great show again, led of course by the esteemed leader of our motley crew, and everyone in chat's been wonderful.
They have. It's been a good vibe. I was worried about it because I was like, I just can't deal with a lot of shouty rap. But Mob Boss has been handily leaving laughter emojis under every video if we lose. It's like, I genuinely think he would probably be happier if we lose the league and he gets to do his silly laughter emojis. Anyway, I am so pleased you're all here. Thank you so much for joining in. Particular thanks to the two that joined me up here, Gary and Zanzi. Thank you so much. And until I see you again, we've actually got time to end the stream on a bit of I could actually play a song. You know that. I could actually go out on No Panic All right, guys. No panic. Lots of love. Be lucky.
One clash, one fall. Time will explode. You could feel red blood run cold across the postcode. Got me down bad and the fear get viral. Fans screaming, season done like a survival spiral. But breathe, my brother, fear don't lead. North London Warriors built from a stronger creed. Arteta